When Adil Shah received the news that Humayun had returned and recaptured the throne of Delhi, he tasked Hemu with the responsibility of driving the Mughals out of India. Hemu marched toward Delhi with an army of 50,000 soldiers, 1,000 war elephants and 51 cannons. The governors of Kalpi and Agra, Abdullah Khan Uzbeg and Iskandar Khan, were so terrified that they fled their cities. In his book, Hemu, The Napoleon of Medieval India, K.K. Bhargava writes that the Mughal governor of Delhi, Tartibeg Khan, had made all the arrangements to stop Hemu. Hemu reached Delhi on October 6, 1556, and set up his camp with his army in Tughlaqabad. The next day, his army clashed with the Mughal forces. The Mughals were defeated, and Tartibeg Khan fled for his life toward the Punjab, where Akbar's army was already stationed. Hemu entered Delhi as a victor. With the royal canopy held over his head, he established a Hindu rule and adopted the famous title of Maharaja Vikramaditya. He issued coins in his own name and appointed governors in distant provinces. Hemu then marched with his large army towards Panipat. On the other hand, when Hemu learned that the Mughals were planning a counterattack, he had already sent his artillery ahead to Panipat. Bairam Khan also dispatched a force of 10,000 men towards Panipat, under the command of Ali Quli Khan Shaibani. Shaibani was an Uzbek, and was counted among the renowned warriors. Abul Fazl writes in his biography of Akbar, the Akbarnama, Hemu left Delhi very quickly. The distance from Delhi to Panipat was less than 100 kilometers. The area was suffering from a severe drought, so there was no sign of human habitation along the way. Hemu's army consisted of 30,000 experienced cavalry and between 500 and 1,500 elephants. The elephants carried swords and spears on their trunks, and skilled archers were mounted on their backs. The Mughal army had never before seen such large war elephants in battle. They could run faster than any Persian horse, and could lift a horse and its rider with their trunk, and throw them into the air. Hemu arrived at Panipat with a large army of Rajputs and Afghans. J.M. Shalat writes in his book Akbar, Akbar was kept at a safe place, some distance away from the battle. Bairam Khan also kept himself away from the fighting and left the responsibility of the battle to his trusted commanders. Hemu entered this battle without any armor on his head. He was continuously shouting, boosting the morale of his comrades. He was riding his elephant, Hawaii. Badoni writes in his book, Muntakaba Tawarik, Hemu's attacks were so powerful that they caused terror in both the right and left wings of the Mughal army. However, the Central Asian cavalry could not be taken lightly. They avoided a direct frontal assault and instead launched oblique attacks from the flanks, aiming to make the elephant-mounted soldiers fall so they could be trampled under the hooves of their swift horses. Describing this battle, Abul Fazl writes that the two armies, roaring like clouds and roaring like lions, fell upon each other. The archers of Ali Quli Khan Shaibani rained arrows upon the enemy, but even then, the tide of battle did not turn in their favor. Parvati Sharma writes, perhaps Akbar was thinking at that time about how, in the first battle of Panipat, his grandfather Babur's army had defeated Ibrahim Lodi's 100,000 soldiers with only 10,000 men. But Akbar also realized that Babur had a secret weapon then, gunpowder. But 30 years later, he had no such mysterious weapon. Matters had reached such a point that, before the battle began, Akbar had ordered his chief of artillery to have him the chief stuffed and burned in an effigy of Hemu to boost the morale of his soldiers. Part 3 coming soon.